¿Qué pasó? Ese no es tu pelo.
At the start of the movie, Christian and Mario are playing basketball while their friend Aldo streams the game live. As he checks the comments, a follower named Ricardo suggests they switch to horror content, calling their current videos boring, to which Aldo replies that they don't like horror because it's all fake anyway, and advises Ricardo to stop watching if he doesn't enjoy it. Suddenly, Christian screams and Aldo tells the viewers that Christian is injured. He shifts the camera to reveal his broken finger and urges a trip to the emergency room, but Mario insists he can handle it, boasting that his father is a doctor and he knows what to do. After some heated debate, Christian reluctantly agrees, and Mario abruptly resets the finger, causing a surge of pain that sends Christian to the ground. On their way back, Christian playfully hurls the ball, striking Aldo and sparking his temper. Fuming, Aldo storms off to retrieve the ball, but in his haste to retaliate, he accidentally kicks it over a wall. Christian tells him to go get the ball, and Aldo approaches the door phone, pressing buttons in hopes of a response, but gets no response from the other end. Christian comments that it doesn't seem like it's going to work and suggests he climb the wall. Aldo leaps over the wall, but when he doesn't return after a long while, Christian climbs over to look for him. On the other side, he discovers a dilapidated house, and as he moves closer, a sudden noise echoes in the air, and he spins around, scanning the area in search of Aldo. Suddenly, someone calls out Christian's name, and thinking it's Aldo playing a prank from behind the well, he approaches to check, but finds no one there. Just as he's about to turn away, a faint noise comes from inside the well, and he sees a lifeless body at the bottom. Just then, Aldo sneaks up from behind and startles him, igniting Christian's anger. But when Christian turns back to the well, the dead body has vanished. Christian asks Aldo where his ball is, to which Aldo replies that he hasn't found it yet. Smirking, Aldo tells the camera that Christian was so scared, teasing that it'll be featured in the next video. They then begin exploring the house and spot an old boat in the garden. And just then, a door creaks open, prompting them to run and hide behind the stairs. After a tense wait, they assume it was the wind and approach the door, but it slams shut loudly, sending them fleeing in fear. Later, Christian shows Aldo something on the computer that shocks him, and Christian tells him that it's FX Pro. Aldo, pulling out his phone, says it looks so real, and it's revealed that Christian had edited a ghost into the video. Christian says, "It was just for fun, and I'll delete it." But Aldo suggests, "Let's upload it." Christian hesitates, "But that's not real," to which Aldo says nothing on the screen is real, and asks, "Do you really think influencers leave such great lives?" He explains, "I'm tired of digging through trash and you can't get off my back because you're selling stuff on the internet." He says they need money to pay rent, and lying isn't good, but it works. After 9 hours, their video hits 230,000 views, gaining 1,000 views per minute, and they go wild as it racks up 100K likes, and their followers skyrocket from 5,000 to 70,000. 5 days later, Aldo goes live, announcing their last video hit 3 million views, a new record. He thanks viewers with Christian, saying their success feels unreal. Aldo then says that every good thing has a dark side, and invites everyone to join their channel in 5 minutes for a discussion. After ending the stream, Aldo asks Christian what's wrong, and Christian confesses that he doesn't want to lie, to which Aldo says this isn't a lie, but a strategy. They begin the stream, and Christian apologizes, admitting he's distracted, to which Aldo replies, "Sounds like you have something on your mind." Christian then tells the viewers that he's been experiencing strange things lately. He admits it might sound ridiculous, but it's true. He explains that he's been having sleep paralysis, and sometimes he sees demons or ghosts, and they scare the hell out of him. Aldo responds that it sounds crazy, and reads a comment asking if Aldo has ever experienced something similar, to which he replies, "No." But something else happened to him. Yesterday, at 3 o'clock in the morning, he was trying to sleep when suddenly someone called his name really loud. He jumped up and ran to the door, but no one was there. He says he doesn't believe in that stuff, but now he is starting to doubt it. And the craziest thing is since they visited that house, all these weird things started happening. He claims that the house has something to do with it, and they want to find out what. He then gives the viewers a new challenge. If this video gets at least 500k likes, both of them will enter the house again at night. The next day, Aldo excitedly tells Christian the challenge was a success in under 10 hours and asks, "Shall we go through with it?" To which Christian hesitates, saying it's not a good idea to return to the house. Aldo agrees, but insists they have no choice, as 500,000 people are waiting for this moment. And when Christian asks what they're supposed to do there, Aldo says he has an idea and asks for an hour. Later, Aldo packs a bag with things to improvise and asks, "Should we use the cell phone?" To which Christian responds that they will take the camera instead, as his phone doesn't record well at night. Aldo then asks, "Can they stream with it?" And Christian replies, "No, they need to edit it on the computer first." At 2 a.m. while climbing over the wall to enter the house, Christian's phone slips from his pocket and shatters. They then enter the house through the broken window, and Aldo tells the camera that after half an eternity, they finally figured out how to get in. He adds, "You really have to pay close attention now, because nobody knows what might happen in here." As he moves ahead, Christian films a cross on the wall, and just then, Aldo opens a door. A while later, Christian finds Aldo's flashlight lying on the ground. He picks it up and calls out to him, but Aldo doesn't respond. Christian moves forward and comes across a chair, and as he looks around, it suddenly moves. But it turns out Aldo is the one who moved it. Aldo approaches the chair and says his idea works, to which Christian angrily replies, "That was a shitty idea." Aldo asks for the flashlight, and when Christian questions him, Aldo says he's moving the chair again, explaining it was just a test, and they need to do it properly. He explains the plan that you will walk in, talk to the camera, and hold the chair. I will pull the string, and when you call me over, we will act amazed at what happened. Christian opens the door and enters again, commenting that everything is dirty, and as he moves closer, the chair begins to move and suddenly flies away. Christian turns to Aldo and asks, "Was that you?" To which Aldo replies, "No," explaining that something pulled on the string and broke it. Christian asks, "Are you kidding me?" And just then, they both freeze in fear as they hear a noise. As they step outside, they notice that a door, which was previously closed, is now wide open. Both of them enter and head toward a bathroom, drawn by the sound of running water. And inside, they're stunned to see the commode flushing on its own. Suddenly, a noise from outside grabs their attention, and when they check out, they discover that a picture has fallen off the wall. Approaching the fallen frame, Kristen says, "This is really strange." And just as they speak, the chandelier above them crashes to the floor. Christian urges Aldo to leave immediately, but Aldo insists we're already in, so let's keep going. Christian points out they're not alone, to which Aldo says, "Don't tell me you suddenly believe in this stuff." Christian presses, "What about the chair?" Saying this house is weird, and I don't want to find out why, to which Aldo says, "I don't want to either, but over 1 million people are waiting for this video." Christian calls him crazy, to which Aldo retorts, "I'd rather be crazy and rich than sane and poor." They begin again, and Aldo addresses the camera, saying this is the third paranormal activity they've witnessed. He admits they're both scared, showing the goosebumps on his arm, but they will continue for the viewers. He mentions that this must have been the main hall at some point, and Christian turns the camera to show the hall. As he focuses on a pool table, he suddenly hears a sound and turns to find Aldo playing a piano. They then make their way upstairs, where they come across a locked door. Afterward, they reach the attic, where they find a goat skull mounted on the wall and a tricycle sitting nearby. As they make their way downstairs, the door they had passed earlier is now wide open. Cautiously, they step into the hallway, where another door stands before them. Aldo approaches it and opens it slowly, and as he steps inside, he discovers yet another door, revealing a room where a broken harp lies on the floor. Aldo turns to the camera and says, "This must have been the master bedroom." And as they begin exploring, Christian's attention is drawn to a stain on the carpet. Just then, Aldo calls him in, saying there's a pool in the bathroom, to which Christian corrects him. It's a jacuzzi. Christian then turns around and comments that this is bigger than my whole room. He ventures further inside and discovers a bathroom within a bathroom. Turning around, he finds Aldo lying in a jacuzzi. And when he asks Aldo what he's doing there, Aldo responds, "I've never been in a jacuzzi." Christian points out that there's no water in it, to which Aldo replies, "I don't care, and I can imagine it. That's where my bed will go. And over there, the TV." Aldo then tells the camera, "If I'm lucky and the spirits like me, I'll move in here." Suddenly, they hear noises coming from outside, startling them. And when they go to check, they see a door opening and closing on its own before it eventually shuts completely. Aldo asks Christian if he's recording, and then they both turn toward the door, cautiously approaching it. And when Aldo opens the door, they find no one there. Aldo asks, "Do you feel that?" And when Christian asks what, Aldo replies, "It's colder now." Christian pans the camera around the room, and Aldo calls out, "Come out and show yourself." Christian warns him, saying he's only making things worse, and just then, a tricycle rolls toward them and stops between them. After a tense moment, it begins moving forward again, and then stops. And suddenly, a cupboard's doors swing open. Startled, they panic and run down the stairs. However, Christian realizes Aldo hasn't followed him. After a while, Aldo comes downstairs, asking, "Why did you run away?" To which Christian responds, "Didn't you see that?" Aldo says, "I did, but I didn't run away." And seeing how terrified Christian is, Aldo tries to calm him down. He reminds Christian, "We talked about this. We both know why we're here, and we have the camera for a reason." Christian says they plan to fake it, which is completely different from what's happening now. To which Aldo asks, "So what should we do? Do you want to grab your camera and run away?" He presses further, "Don't you realize this is a huge opportunity for us?" Aldo encourages Christian to hang on a little longer and pull himself together. Christian admits, "I don't like what's happening here," to which Aldo replies, "Me neither, but we're in this together." The two resume exploring and hear voices coming from behind a door. Aldo tries to peek inside and tells Christian to turn off the flashlight. He then takes the camera and records the scene inside, where a woman scolds her son Lucas for refusing to take his medicine. Lucas, visibly scared, says he doesn't want him to watch him. Confused, she asks, "Who's watching you?" and suddenly turns her head, startling Aldo. Just then, Christian's ball comes bouncing toward them, and Aldo is terrified to see a demon behind him. He flees downstairs in horror, and Christian chases after him and asks what happened. Just then, a piano starts playing, but they do not see anyone there. However, when he turns the camera towards the other side, he captures the reflection of a man in a mirror playing the piano, who suddenly gets up and walks towards him. Just then, someone opens the door, prompting them to panic and run to find a hiding spot. From there, they see a man dragging a dead body inside the house. The man opens a door, carries the corpse inside, and shuts it. Whispering, Aldo and Christian discuss how the man didn't look like a ghost and wonder if real people are living there. Suddenly, a woman asks, "Who are you and what are you doing here?" To which Christian nervously explains, "We're just looking around and we don't want any trouble." But the woman says, "Now you have some." Suddenly, a loud noise erupts, and when they turn back, the woman has vanished. They both attempt to leave the house, but discover that the main door is locked. Panicking, Christian urges Aldo to take out his phone. Aldo dials for help and explains, "My friend and I are locked inside a house, and we need help immediately." He gives his location, but his phone abruptly shuts off. Aldo and Christian make their way upstairs to the attic, where Aldo grabs a stone, breaks the window, and urges Christian to hide in a closet with him. After a while, hearing the noise, the man comes upstairs with his gun to investigate. He peers outside through the broken window, and just as he's about to leave, the cabinet door creaks, drawing his attention. He begins moving toward them, but before he can open the door, the woman Romana appears and asks Agrippino, "Why did you kill him?" Agrippino responds, "What are you talking about?" To which Romana begins crying, saying, "You killed my brother, and he had nothing to do with this." Agrippino asks, "How should I know, as I don't see who I'm killing, and we're just following the general's orders?" Romana declares, "One day, you'll get caught, and you'll pay for every soul." To which Agrippino coldly asks, "And who will get me?" He then grabs her by the throat, threatening, "I'll bury you in the basement with your brother," before throwing her to the floor. Romana, sobbing, suddenly notices Aldo and Christian hiding in the closet. She quickly gets up, grabbing a knife, and rushes to Agrippino to stab him in the back, killing him, and then she runs away. Aldo and Christian emerge from their hiding spot, and Christian asks him, "What are we doing?" To which Aldo replies, "We don't have time to think, and just trust me." Aldo begins climbing down using a rope, and after reaching a safe spot, he tells Christian, "It's your turn now." Christian tosses the camera to him, then starts going down as well. The two of them jump down, but they still have a long way to go, so Aldo ties the rope to a hook. However, Christian spots Agrippino standing behind Aldo, who suddenly pulls Christian back inside the house and slams the door shut. Panicking, Aldo breaks the glass of the door and jumps in. He grabs the camera and rushes downstairs, calling out for Christian, but as he approaches the basement, the door shuts before he can reach it. He desperately tries to open the door, but fails. He shouts to Christian, "Be strong, don't give up," and rushes back, saying he will return with help. But he stumbles upon Romana's lifeless body, hanging in front of him. He moves forward, determined to find a way out, but is stopped by demonic figures. Terrified, he runs back, screaming in panic, and as he bolts toward the door from which he entered, the shutter comes crashing down, trapping him inside. Aldo, frantic, runs into another room and attempts to open a door, but it won't budge. Suddenly, he hears the sound of a harp being played, and as he tries to leave, the door slams shut, trapping him inside once again. Suddenly, a loud crash echoes through the room as someone throws the harp at a mirror, prompting Aldo to hide in the corner, his heart racing in fear. The woman tells Aldo, "Get out of there." Terrified, Aldo steps outside and she asks, "What are you doing in my house?" Aldo, trembling, pleads with her to let them out of here, explaining they are not bad people and they are never coming back. She asks for his name and he responds, "Aldo." She says, "Nice name." Then she asks, "What's the camera for?" To which Aldo nervously explains, "I take videos, but it doesn't record." The woman removes her hat and says, "We like you." Then, with a chilling tone, she asks, "Do you like playing with ghosts?" And then suddenly shoots herself, causing Aldo to fall in terror. Frozen in fear, he sees her lifeless body, and just then, Lucas appears. And Aldo is horrified to find that the woman's body has vanished, and Lucas has disappeared as well. Suddenly, the woman screams, "Let's play," causing Aldo to flee in terror. And when he comes downstairs, he sees Agrippino emerging from the basement. Aldo hides there and watches as Agrippino leaves, and then he enters the basement and locks it from inside. As he descends the stairs, he notices some tools hanging on the wall. He then calls out to Christian, asking if he can hear him, but when he receives no response, he opens the door to enter the place, and when he looks around, he sees a stone with a machete placed on it, and nearby, a human skull. Then he hears a noise and sees that Christian is chained up. He rushes over to him, asking what they did to him. Aldo removes the cloth from Christian's mouth, and Christian tells him to run, but Aldo refuses to leave without him. Suddenly, Aldo hears the sound of someone opening the door, but when he looks outside, no one is there, and when he turns back, Christian is gone. Then Aldo spots Christian on the wall, who turns his head and tells him to run. Terrified, Aldo bolts out there, trying to lock the door, and as he does, Christian comes running toward him, growling. Scared, Aldo asks what they did to him, but just then, there's a knock on the door upstairs, and when Aldo turns around, he finds that Christian is no longer there. Grabbing an axe, Aldo heads upstairs, and when he opens the door to check, he finds no one outside. Seizing the opportunity, he runs out, but is confronted by Agrippino, who charges toward him. Aldo screams for help as he flees, but after a while, Agrippino appears in front of him and drags him back toward him. Aldo pleads for him to let go, but Agrippino throws his camera away, and the screen goes black. Next, we see Aldo trying to escape, and after running for what feels like an eternity, he finally reaches the wall through which they had entered. He quickly climbs up and makes it to the road, collapsing at the roadside, where he cries out for Christian and falls unconscious. When Aldo wakes up, he finds an ambulance outside the house. He rushes over and finds that Christian is alive and urges him to stay strong, assuring him everything will be fine. After the ambulance leaves, Aldo sits on the ground, lies down, and thanks God. He murmurs that no one will believe what happened and then gets up to retrieve the camera. However, when Aldo arrives, he is shocked to see the police pulling his own dead body out of the well. A police officer picks up the camera and places it in a bag, and Aldo recalls his words that if he is lucky and if the spirits will like him, then he will move in here. We then see Aldo lying in the jacuzzi, and the screen fades to black. Later, Christian is being interrogated, but he says he doesn't remember anything. An officer informs him that the police found a camera on the premises and, turning the laptop towards him, says that maybe the footage will help him remember. The officer plays the camera's recording, and Christian watches in shock as he sees there are no ghosts recorded. Instead, the footage reveals that it was Christian who had killed Aldo and thrown his body into the well. On February 3, 1989, 3 adult bodies and 1 child were found in this house. The discovered dead bodies were buried in the basement. This house is suspected of being a place of torture during the Paraguayan dictatorship era and has been empty since then. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the chills, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a scare. Until next time, stay spooky.